All right, so we've got some potentially huge spoilers for Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2. It's coming up in November. I've been doing little spoiler videos here and there, and these spoilers that I have for you today are coming from Reddit, so they may or may not be accurate. Because I'm somewhat new to Cobra Kai, I obviously was a fan of the Karate Kid since I was a kid, but that was before Cobra Kai happened. But I haven't seen all of Cobra Kai until this year. I'm not familiar with who is and isn't a legitimate leaker. You know what I mean? Over in, like, Marvel, for example, you've got Daniel RPK, you've got guys like that sort of have reputations for dropping nuggets of information. So I'm letting you know this as a potential spoiler warning for Season 6 Part 2. This may or may not be what's happening. Some of it does certainly match up with what others have said. However, it may not be true. So please be aware of that. Without any further ado, you've gotten enough time. If you don't want to be spoiled, click off the video now. Let's talk about Season 6 Part 2. This post is on Cobra Kai Reddit. It says here, read at your own discretion. The tournament winner is decided on a point tally. The dojo that scores the highest wins. So it's not just based on one or two champions. It's the overall dojo that ends up being the champions. Besides Cobra Kai being back, Terry Silver is as well with a dojo called Iron Dragon. Now, we knew about Iron Dragons. Terry Silver coming back should surprise no one. His story's not over yet. And having Terry running a backup dojo, or maybe even buying the Iron Dragon from whoever the original sensei was, because we've seen him do that in Season 5. It says they will wear gray, silverish type gis. Makes sense, Terry Silver. All of that makes sense, and the Terry Silver connected to Iron Dragons is something that we have heard before from other leaks. Their captains are Axel and Draga, former Sekai Taikai winners. Yeah, Axel and Draga, these actors have already come out and said that they're in Cobra Kai, and their character names, Axel and Draga, because Draga is apparently this really talented bow staff user. She's a legit martial artist, and Axel's also like a legit martial artist stunt guy. So they're getting a lot of real martial artists here to mix it up with the actors. Sam will be swayed by Axel to drop out of the tournament because people have died or been paralyzed in the tournament in the past, which is kind of wild. But at the same time, there's supposed to be a scene on a beach with Sam and Axel. That could be where this leaker's getting it from, where it could be more. This could also be educated guesses, guys. It could also be bullshit, but I'm covering it anyways. Kenny then takes her place, but he works for Silver. So I thought Kenny would take Devin's place, since Devin's the one that screwed him, but I guess not. He sabotages Miyagi-Do so that they don't qualify for the finals, but Hawk carries the team. So what they're talking about here, because I heard about this as well, is basically Kenny purposely takes an L representing Miyagi-Do, but he secretly is still in cahoots with Terry Silver, which is kind of weird because he did throw the shirt down at the end of Season 5. Maybe that'll get explained. I'm sure it will. And that Hawk ends up winning a bunch of fights to save the team. So basically, Miyagi-Do is about to get bounced. Remember, only the top 8 qualify for the finals. But Hawk somehow does something to save Miyagi-Do. So it says here, Miyagi is at 8th, Iron Dragons is at 1, and Cobra Kai is at 3. Makes perfect sense. Robbie reaches the semifinals as captain and fights Axel, but gets injured by him. Illegal blows. Axel gets disqualified, and Hawk and Miguel fight it out for the new captaincy role to face Quan in the finals. So is Axel going to purposely... So Axel's kind of doing what Mike Barnes did in Karate Kid 3, it seems. You know what I mean? And it seems like Terry Silver and the Iron Dragons are there just to punish Miyagi-Do. Do they not want to win themselves? Very interesting. So it says here, Hawk had done the most contribution until that point by defeating Yoon. However, Miguel becomes captain by beating Hawk and wins against Quan on television. So Miguel beat Quan. However, I want to say this. There has been another leak that has come out where there's apparently 2 different endings. One of them, Miguel does beat Quan in the finals, but in another ending, Miguel advances in the tournament, but Robbie, turns out he's not that injured, comes back and takes over as captain, and he beats Quan. So, there you go. So it says here, Tori wins the female captain finals, but Draga lets her win. Yeah, that also had come out because apparently Silver's plan is to have Draga purposely lose so that way Miyagi-Do can get less points because she represents Cobra Kai, so it elevates Cobra Kai higher in the rankings and gives them more points. Says here, however, Silver's nonsense gets exposed and a huge brawl starts. Okay, so we are going to get, according to these, a huge brawl. Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai have to defend themselves against everyone else. That is interesting. So we're going to see a Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai union team up. That's certainly not on anyone's bingo card, although there have been leaks similar to it. It's not a big surprise. Johnny and Daniel fend off past Sekai Taikai winners that were present there. Kreese fights Silver. See, I knew they were going to do this. I knew they were going to do Kreese and Silver. He admits he was at fault for starting this all and regrets it. And that's part of Kreese's big character arc, that he was the one that brought Terry Silver in. He was the one that manipulated himself into getting Cobra Kai from Johnny. So we are going to get him having regret. They fight with blood coming out on both. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a bloody fight. But Kreese is ultimately victorious and cuts Silver's ponytail. End of part 2. So John Kreese will be the one that defeats Terry Silver and then cuts off his infamous ponytail. It sounds to me like Terry Silver is turning into once again the real final villain of Cobra Kai. Not John Kreese. Even though John Kreese was the lead villain for seasons 2 and 3. Terry Silver 4, 5, and now 6, because he's the guy that's manipulating everybody, including Kreese himself. Remember, Silver did turn on Kreese, so he started this whole thing. The only thing that I don't like about this is the idea of Miguel winning again. However, it is Miguel. Miguel was sort of the first student of Johnny Lawrence, so it would make sense that he ends up winning. However, what I thought they were going to do, and this is a guess, I thought they were going to have Robbie win the Sekai Taikai, but they were going to do like in the final episodes, Johnny gets Cobra Kai back from Kreese. Miguel ends up being his top student and wins another All Valley. Because we've seen scenes of we've seen leaked images of an All Valley looking place and Miguel wearing a Cobra Kai headband. And that maybe in the epilogue of the episode, so a time skip goes by, 3 years later, Miguel comes back from MIT, because Lord knows the actor's old enough, and fights for Johnny and wins another tournament. You know, kind of like the end of Dragon Ball GT or the end of Harry Potter, how there's a time skip and we see what happened to everybody 3 or 4 years later. They could do something like that. That's what I thought they were going to do, and just have Miguel win another All Valley while Robbie wins a Sekai Taikai. But they both are working together for Cobra Kai. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ways this can go. I like this, though. I can't front. I like what I've read here, and most of what I've read sounds good, but hell, what are they going to say for part 3? What else could be going on for part 3? They got, remember, this is just 5 episodes. They got 5 more coming next year. I am super curious. Anyways, man, What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. See you soon.